Manchester United have said they don't really have an interest in discussing Gareth Bale with Real Madrid. That's today's story. Are you believing that?
Yes. Listen, if I'm Manchester United, I'm not going to go and invest the amount of money you'd have to invest in Bale with transfer fees, wages, on a guy who, before he kicks a ball, you know he's going to miss a lot of the season because he can't stay fit. So why are you going to spend that amount of money on a player who's not going to be available for the whole season?
Plus, he's not getting any younger. He's 29.
Correct.
We've seen them signing guys like Daniel James. Do you think this is the way that United are now going to go, buying players with a future rather than someone who, if they sign him on a 3 or a 4 year contract, there's no sell-on value?
I think so. I think that's probably the right way to go. I actually also think that they may not have too much of a choice in the matter because, you know, anybody in their mid-20s who's the finished article right now is going elsewhere. They're not going to Manchester United. So they're kind of being pushed into either, you know, maybe going and getting a couple of older heads that they know they can get something out of, which Bale isn't one. Otherwise, you're going the younger potential route, although there is a base there that can actually survive in the Premier League to start with. So, yes, that's the way they're going to go. But I think a lot of that is down to the fact that they really don't have a choice of going any other way.
What about Bale's choice? Because he could sit where he is, pick up his 600 grand a week. But he's not going to play, and that would hinder Wales, among other things as well. But the other thing is as well, if he decides to go, who's going to pay 600 grand a week for him if Man United aren't?
Well, it's not going to happen. You know, Madrid are going to have to eat some of his wages. They're certainly going to have to think about whether they want a fee. If they really want rid of Gareth Bale, I think straight away you can forget the fee because nobody's paying both. Nobody's paying the fee and the wages. So that puts Real Madrid in a bad spot. But Gareth Bale, we will find out in the next, I would say the next 6 months, what he's made of. Is this a guy who's got enough money already?
Which I think he has.
Which I think he has.
Yeah.
Or is this guy going to want to play football? You know, is he going to say, I want more money, or is he going to want to play football? We will find out in the next 6 months. It's one thing as a player to say, okay, I'm going to stick it out. It's another thing to be either sat on the bench or maybe not even in the squad. And I am sure that gets old very, very quickly. And so we will find out what Gareth Bale is about. Is he a guy who just wants to play football? Or is he a guy who thinks, hey, I'm fine, I'll take the money?
We did another piece on FC for the transfer writer about Adrien Rabiot, and not only did you say that he'd be good for the Premier League, you gave us the club of Arsenal. What's the best club for Gareth Bale? Because, look, United, if they prioritise, they probably are not looking for a guy that plays wide left or up front. They need to sort out their defence. So what's the best club for Gareth Bale?
PSG. Absolutely. You know, physically, the demands of Liga for him would not be. Listen, La Liga isn't that physical, but it's certainly more physical, and I think you're under more pressure more often in games in La Liga than PSG ever will be in Liga. That means that he can play, he can rest and get himself ready for big games, i.e. the Champions League. So I think PSG would be an ideal destination for him. After that, you know what, I have no idea because nobody's going to pay what he wants.
And that's the thing, I was thinking Chelsea, but obviously the transfer ban to replace
But it's a Premier League.
Hazard.
He physically can't survive the Premier League for a season.
So
you're not putting that amount of money into a guy who you know can't play a full season.
Just because of his susceptibility to injuries or the pace of the Premier League too much for him?
If playing in La Liga is tough for you physically, you can't play in the Premier League for a season.
There you go. No Man United and no move to the Premier League, according to Stevie Nicol.